Okay, everybody, this is going to be a good one of showing the records. Oh, and also, I found a beer that's the same color, or the can is, not the beer. The can is the same color as the room. So that's the first thing. And let's get into this. This is going to be a good one. Okay, this is the new one-song, one-sided, rudimentary peni, 7-inch, and it's called The Chances, and it's a dirge type thing. Nothing really special about it. It's just a dirge. In fact, I don't even think the song, even though it's performed by Rudimentary Peni, I don't think it was written by them. I think it was written by somebody else. So anyway, that's the new Rudimentary Peni. Okay, here's a national collection. This is a compilation album called Lung Cookies. And this is a bunch of punk rock bands that nobody's ever heard of from the 80s. And comes with this little book telling about each band. Well, Final Conflict, they're on this thing. I've heard of them. 10-Minute Warning is on this. That's the band that Blaine Fart had in between the farts and the accused. This thing is really good. Let's see who else is on it. Sacred Order, Willful Neglect, Boy Elroy, Otto's Chemical Lounge, The Ejectors, Ground Zero, a bunch of great punk rock bands singing very, very weird, obscure, hardcore type stuff. So if you run into this and you can afford it, they're charging a lot of money for this now. It's a great compilation and it's worth it just for the Blaine Fart in between the Accused and the Farts band 10-Minute Warning. That right there makes this record worth buying. And it's on Smoked Seven Flesh Records, and it's from Your Flesh Magazine, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, and let's get to another album that's very similar to the one I just showed you. This is the Peace War Comp. I bought this at a little record store about 2 miles away from me, and this one has the book, the original book in it. And I don't know what to say about this besides every single song. And it's a double LP, so I think there's over 50 songs on this thing. In fact, I know there's over 50 on this. Every single one of them's good. It's got DOA, the Butthole Surfers, Dead Kennedys, the Dicks, MDC, and everything in between. If you see this in your record store, don't be afraid. Excuse me. Don't be afraid to pay about $40 for it. It is worth every bit of the $220s that the guy's going to charge you if this thing comes with the book. And remember, on that Peace War Comp, every song is good. All 50 plus. Okay, here is another masterpiece. This is MAGOO Hi-Fi. And this is a record album for kids, but if anybody remembers the cartoon character Mr. MAGOO, this is Mr. MAGOO setting up a hi-fi stereo, playing it, confusing parts of it and sounds from it, or from the records that he's playing on it, with sounds from outside and vacuum cleaners. And I have to say, this record is so funny. This is one of the funniest records I own. And on the flip side of this thing, side B, it's just music from the Mr. MAGOO show. it's kind of fun to listen to, but it's side one of this thing that is so funny, you'll just be bent over laughing, just doubled over. It gets really, really funny. There's a lot of great jokes on it, and well, it's just Mr. Magoo hooking up a hi-fi stereo. Okay, here's another new record I got, Rodney Dangerfield, I Don't Get No Respect. This thing it's a Rodney Dangerfield record. There's nothing more to say if you're not hip to Rodney Dangerfield. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. You're really missing out. Okay, this is a brand new one from, let's set these records straight. This is a brand new one from a band from Kalamazoo, Michigan. This is the Elder Gods, and this is the Kill 'Em All record. And they just put this out. You can get it off of them on their Facebook page, and they autographed it for me. And this thing is punk rock madness, creativity, and just everything wonderful that an interesting band should be. So go to the Facebook page, give them a little money for this thing, you won't regret it. Plus the album cover is really cool. Okay, now we're going to get into the, I guess what I'd call the rainbow of records. This is the new Ministry. Now, these aren't like brand new Ministry songs. These are remixes of older songs. And I have to say, aside from the Every Day is Halloween original version, these songs are fun to listen to, and the remix of them is kind of surprising. Here's the cover. Here's the back cover. Didn't come with anything in it. Anyway, the songs on this thing, also this is available from their Bandcamp page, is Every Day is Halloween, 2010 Evil version, NWO, Jesus Built My Hot Rod, Stigmata, Painted Black, Cyberpass, Thunderstruck, Sharp Dressed Man, and then the Every Day is Halloween, I guess original version from, I don't know when it's from. It's, I think it's from the time when Ministry was like a Duran Duran type situation. Anyway, this is really good. Okay, now we're going to get into the new Barry Comics re-releases. So I won't even describe these because you already know what they sound like. But they're fun to look at. So this will be like the picture book part of the video. This is the Locust Abortion Technician. I probably already showed this. This is the Butthole Surfers live PCP Pep. And you can see the little hype sticker there. Newberry Comics exclusive. This is Hairway to Steven. This one's really see-through. And that's it for the Butthole Surfers section of the video. Okay, now we're going to get into the scary stuff. These are scary records. Okay, first scary record is King Kong Lives. This is the soundtrack to that movie. The movie is so bad, it's scary, but not in a good way. I got the DVD and this record in the same store for, I think, $10. Yeah, with tax it wasn't over $10 for the DVD and the vinyl soundtrack. And the soundtrack is, well, if you mess with it, it's okay, but it's just a cool album cover to a movie that's kind of lousy. Okay, this is Watain, and I'm going to tell a quick little story about this band. This is a, I don't know, I guess a thrash, black metal, I guess that's how you describe these guys. And I went and seen them in Detroit last winter, and they had this real scary stage set up. But before they came on, they had this like a, I don't know, a pole thing in center stage towards the edge of it, and they brought out this pig's head, and I could see them pull this pig's head out of this, I don't know, like Coleman cooler type thing, or igloo cooler. And I seen the guy pull it out, and then he walks to the front of the stage and sticks it on its little pole thing. And right when he brought it to the front of the stage, you could smell that thing. It was like a 1,200 person venue. It stunk. It must have stunk up the whole venue, because I was right up front. You can see the video of it on this channel, and that thing stunk. It was awful. It made you sick. So I think it was a real pig's head that they just keep in that cooler when they're on tour, and it just gets stinking, and then they bring it out, and oh man, it was nasty. And that's not the end of it. Once the band started playing, they brought out this other thing that, like I said, I don't need to explain it. You can see the video, and it was like this incense inside of like a skull type thing, as I remember. And that incense smelled like some type of rotten flesh, and I work in a hospital, and I know what rotten flesh smells like, and this was 10 times worse. And with the pig's head and the rotten flesh, that band stunk up the room. They were good. They're fun to watch. They put on this wild little show, but geez, after they were done, man, you just headed towards the exit to get a breath of fresh air. I had never experienced anything like that. Oh, that was awful. That was, I don't think that'll be a once in a lifetime thing. Is just how bad of just rotting flesh that whole room smelled while this band, Watain, ran through their set of wild, thrashy black metal songs. Okay, let's get to this record. This record has 8 songs on it. 6 of them are good. The last 2 are so-so. The 6 that are good are phenomenally good. Good as in they're strange and interesting. Not good as in, you know, like it's a good song, or a memorable song like a ZZ Top thing. They're creative, and it's loud, it's creepy. I would suggest this record to anybody. Even if you don't like heavy metal, this thing will satisfy, because it's just phenomenally creative. It really surprised me. And the reason why I didn't buy a Watain record earlier is because they were kind of expensive. But I found this thing for $15, and it's well worth it. And the name of this record is Trident Wolf Eclipse. Yeah, Trident Wolf Eclipse by Watain. Definitely worth your time. Okay. And these things are going to fall. Just a moment. Okay, this is another see-through record that is really see-through. And what this thing is this. Here's the little jacket, and it came in, or that is inside the record sleeve, and it's by a band called Goblin. And it's the soundtrack to this movie. And this soundtrack is out of sight. The movie's out of sight, and this soundtrack is out of sight. And it's a film by Dario Argento, and it's got like 8 songs on it, but it's the soundtrack to a really weird, colorful movie. In fact, the set design of the movie looks like my house. Anyway, definitely buy this if you see it. It's really interesting, and it's kind of a rock and roll record. in the weirdest sense of the word. Okay, here's a record that sold out. I don't know how many of them they made, but it sold out in just under 2 hours. I was lucky enough to be on a break at the hospital. I checked my phone and it was on sale and I got one. This is the soundtrack to The Dawn of the Dead. The movie from 1978 or something. Not sure when this movie came out. That. And here's the jacket for it. And yeah, 1978, I was right. That's a good guess. I bought the, I guess the limited edition special package DVD of this movie after I bought this. Because I'd never seen the movie before, but I'm a sucker for anything that somebody says is going to sell out, and I catch it right when it goes on sale. And I listened to this, and this is a wonderful soundtrack. This thing sounds great, just like that Goblin Suspiria one. So anyway, if you were one of the lucky ones to catch this within the first 2 hours when it went on sale from Waxworks Records, you got a great thing. And if you didn't, give some guy on eBay $90 for it, because I'm sure that's what it'll be going for. Okay, here's another zombie movie. This is Night of the Living Dead. Double LP from Newberry Comics. Here's the little flyer that came inside the record. And I've seen this movie. I've actually seen this one. Sometimes I'll order soundtracks to movies I haven't even seen. Just because like the record jacket will look cool. Anyway, this is an excellent soundtrack to a really good movie. And geez, I'm going through these paper things. I tried to set these up so I can go through them quickly and I'm not pulling records out of jackets. Here's the other disc. Side 4 and 3 of the soundtrack to Night of the Living Dead. And the very last thing is the album jacket to what I just showed you. And there's nothing else in there. So anyway, this has been a very colorful record showing video, and I think this is a great way to end it.